Lemonada.
Here's an interesting question. What if one small act of generosity became one of the most meaningful parts of your month? At Children Incorporated, sponsoring a child helps remove the barriers that poverty creates so children can stay in school and build brighter futures.
And perhaps that's the surprising thing about generosity. It changes everyone involved. Learn more at childrenincorporated.org. That's childrenincorporated.org.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire, the no-show. Who set you back because they didn't show up on day one, or day two, or ever again. And now your product launch is delayed because you're talking to alien abduction podcasters to track them down. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can help make sure your next hire sticks. In fact, businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hello, we're here for More Happier, a podcast where we get happier. Join us. It's the weekend. It's observations and reflections, but with a looser vibe. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Gretch.
Today we'll talk about an insight I recently had about people's self-perception, including my self-perception, and a lesson for upholders. But first, something making us happier. Elizabeth, what is something making you happier?
Okay, Gretch, it's the little things. The thing that's making me happier right now is that I beat my own Wordle streak.
Okay. You know, I love a streak. Any streak is good. This is one of the most helpful habit formation strategies. People love a streak, but I don't do Wordle. So what is a Wordle streak?
Okay, so Wordle, as many people know, is a New York Times game where you have to guess a 5-letter word, and then we'll keep track of your streak. And my previous streak was 142 days.
So that means you did it 142 days without missing a day.
Right. And got it right. I mean, if you don't get it in 6 guesses, then you go back to 0. So it's not just doing it, it's doing it and getting it right.
It must be not impossible since you did it 142 times. It's easy to do it in 4 times, but it's hard to do it in 2 times, or how does that all work?
Yeah, I'd say 4 is the most common number that I get.
Okay.
Where I will miss, and I think I speak for many in this, is if there's a word where there are many different rhymes with it.
I'm thinking of river and shiver, but the word always has 5 letters?
Yeah, so it's always 5 letters, but if it's like giver, diver,
quiver,
river.
Yeah.
It's just pure guessing at that point.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm at 145 now. So I'm 3 days past my previous streak.
Okay.
Which that to me then means, okay, I can lose and not feel horrible about it because I've beat my previous streak. Of course, what I'm going for is the year, but that's very tough.
And do you think you've actually gotten better at it, or it's just luck of the draw of whether you guess K or L or whatever?
I have gotten better because Wordle will do an analysis every day of your guesses of each guess and tell you what would have been a more efficient guess.
Oh.
So I really have lately been trying to think what would be a better guess here? What would give me better letters? Sometimes, by the way, here's a little tip. I've found it can be very useful to do a double letter. So if you know there's an L, but you don't know where the L is, if you can put the L in 2 different spots, that gives you double the chance of having found it. And the best thing to do is have a definite answer as to where a certain letter is. That's the quickest way forward, obviously.
Okay.
So there is some strategy.
It sounds like hangman strategy, too, which is a game I used to play all the time, but I don't play it all. But it's like R is a better guess than K.
Yes.
So is it that kind of thinking?
Yes. And then a big thing with people who play Wordle is, what is your starting word? What makes sense is to start with the same word every day, because then you know your patterns and what your next word will be if certain letters come up. So my current word is slate.
Okay.
And that came from Sarah. Now, I was forever using salet, S-A-L-E-T, because that is the word that Bill Gates uses.
I don't even know what a salad is.
I don't either. I looked it up and now I can't remember. But Sarah said she thought slate was a better word. So now I've moved over to slate.
Well, it's the same letters, just rejiggered.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Mom plays not as religiously as I do, but I think her opening word lately has been craft, which is just a fun one.
Yeah, since that's craft, C-R-A-F-T.
Yeah, and it has a lot of good letters. C-R-A and T are all great letters.
So you're not trying to optimize for getting vowels necessarily.
Well, that's why I like slate, because it does have 2 vowels, but...
Because about would get you 3 vowels.
Yes, about is a very common one.
I don't like games, but this is kind of appealing to me a little bit.
You should try. Oh, another very popular first word, adieu.
Adieu?
Because it's A-D-I-E-U.
EU.
If I'm remembering correctly. That one does count.
This is a good thing, I think, for ice breaking, because this is the kind of thing that, because it is so common, that you could just say it casually to somebody. I think you were talking about this on Happier in Hollywood lately, having some small talk icebreaker topics. You don't even have to be as contrived as saying, like, do you play Wordle?
Right.
But you could just say, like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I just hit my Wordle streak. So I'm patting myself on the back. And then a person could be like, oh, okay, fine. Or they could pick up the ball.
Yes, no, it's true. And it is a thing that many, many, many people play.
One of the pieces of advice for the empty nest is that if you like to be in frequent contact with a child, but you want to keep it very, very low touch, basically so that they're more likely to answer you. A lot of people just sort of want proof of life. They just want an answer to know that your child is looking at your text. They'll comment on their Wordle. Is there a way to share?
I've never done that, but yes, there is a way to share.
It's a thing that people will exchange or discuss in the vein of sending dog photos, cat photos.
Yeah, sometimes like I'll text Mom, oh, got Wordle in 2 today.
All you need is a thumbs up or whatever. So it can play that role too. Oh, fun. Well, Elizabeth, 145.
I want you to try it.
Okay. Well, I subscribe to the New York Times app and I know it's included.
Yes.
Is it a separate app or do you do it in the New York Times app?
I have a games app, but I bet you could do it in the regular app. But I have just the games app. Okay. And I play all the games, connections, strands, spelling bee. I play them all every morning with my cup of coffee. It's my ritual.
That just sounds very pleasant and wholesome.
It is. Okay, Gretch, how about you? What is making you happier?
Well, speaking of things that are pleasant and wholesome, I was thinking about how much I love pop-up books. Okay, if you have not investigated the world of pop-up books lately, oh my goodness, it has come so far from the days of yore. This is a place where I don't know if it's changes in technology or manufacturing or just the level of interest. There's so many adult pleasures now, which is like kid and adult. You can have an adult coloring book. But for whatever reason, there is just a lot happening in pop-up books. I say I'm an underbuyer, and listeners have gently suggested that maybe I'm not as much of an underbuyer as I say, because I will buy a sticker book or as much as the next person. But I do find immense pleasure in these pop-up books. Now, for a while, our mother had this Christmas tradition of giving us a Christmas-related picture book every Christmas when kids were little, and it was building out a library. And there's so many beautiful Christmas-related holiday books. I really love this tradition. And there were several years where she gave pop-up books that were Christmas-related. And that's how I became acquainted with the work of Robert Sabuda, who is clearly the towering masterpiece maker in this area. He does a couple different kinds of books, and some of them are like retellings of children's classics, Peter Pan, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz. I like those, and those are very cool, but he has the series that are the winter series or the Christmas series, The Night Before Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas, Winter's Tale. They are beautiful. They're very minimalist, Scandinavian looking, monochromatic, but so intricate, so beautiful, so original. But Alyssa, I was looking up all the Robert Sabuda thing, and I realized he had this one called America the Beautiful, which I had never seen. So, of course, I got to order this for my collection. So this is beautiful landscapes of America. So, of course, there's the Statue of Liberty, there's the Golden Gate Bridge, there's the Mississippi River that has a huge steamboat, just different landscapes within the United States all over. And again, very intricate, very beautiful. These are not the kind of pop-up books that you would give to like a 2-year-old. This is an appreciative, conscientious kid that would open the pages carefully and really relish the details. But they're so cunning and so original. I just love them. Now, also, if you are looking for a good gift, I also found this when I was poking around looking at pop-up books. There's a guy named Peter Dahman who has a book called Pop-Up Sculptures. Ooh. And this is expensive. The Robert Sabuda books are not inexpensive. They range between like $20, $30. That's not insignificant. The Peter Dahman book is more like $50. So I would picture this for the right kind of person as a housewarming gift or a milestone birthday where it's something you wouldn't buy for yourself. And it's kind of a coffee table book.
I was going to say, we've been talking about coffee table books, and this sounds like a coffee table book.
Yeah, and it's a conversation starter. It's a little unusual. If you wanted to, if there was one that you really particularly liked, you could open up the pages and weight them so it would stay open. You and I are not fan of like the hostess gift and all that, but there's sometimes where you want to give somebody something interesting and unusual and cool. And then I'll also say, if you have a child who's very interested in science or nature, there are a lot of really interesting pop-up books and like sharks, dinosaurs, things like that. And then there are also fairy tale ones where it's fairy tales, fairies, gnomes, pirates, things like that. And again, they are more expensive than your regular picture book, but I feel like it's a lot of bang for your buck. Like it feels very substantial and interesting.
Well, Gretchen, you've always loved the pop-up book. I am a scratch and sniff book devotee.
Wow. The Sweet Smell of Christmas, best one ever.
Ever. Best scratch and sniff ever.
Well, you know, I have been so far down that road, Elizabeth. I've wanted to do a scratch and sniff book myself for so long.
You should.
I have looked into it and the mechanics of it and the production and all that. And it's not as easy as you would hope. Well, you had your magnificent scratch and sniff sticker collection, which
I know
still is in its basket in Kansas City, and I will go there and scratch the pickle and scratch the grape jam ones.
They still smell.
They still
faintly,
smell.
But they still smell.
They still smell. So I just was thinking, you know, of all the things that I appreciate pop-up books. They make me happy.
Good.
They're a happy thing.
All right, Gretch, coming up, there's something you've been meaning to tell me, but first, this break. If you're an obliger, you already know the pattern. You'll keep promises to other people all day long, but when it comes to the promises you make to yourself, especially around food, exercise, and your health, that's where things get hard. That's why so many obligers do better when someone else is counting on them. With My Body Tutor, you get a real health and fitness coach who checks in with you every day.
That's someone who knows your goals, expects to hear from you, and helps you follow through when motivation fades. One of my readers once described My Body Tutor as an obliger's dream, and I think that's exactly right. If you're tired of making promises to yourself and not following through, go to mybodytutor.com/happier and get $50 off your first month. One of the things I love about the start of a new school year is that it feels like a fresh start. New teachers, new routines, new opportunities. There's always a sense of excitement about what's ahead. And if you're looking for a different educational option for your family this year, there's still time to enroll in K-12 powered online schools. It could be a great fit for your family.
K-12 powered schools offer tuition-free, accredited online public education for students in kindergarten through 12th grade with a curriculum designed to meet your child where they are and support their unique needs, interests, and goals. There are extracurricular activities to help students connect with peers, and dedicated teachers provide real-time support in an online setting that works for your family. It's not too late to enroll for this fall. See how K-12 powered schools can help your child thrive this year and beyond. Enroll online today at k12.com/happier. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/happier. k12.com/happier.
This episode is brought to you by Care Scout. One thing I've noticed is that life has a way of bringing new responsibilities when we least expect them. As our kids become more independent and our parents get older, many of us find ourselves trying to balance work, family, and figuring out the best way to support the people we love.
That's why Care Scout created the nation's first comprehensive aging care platform. Think of them as an expert partner to help your family find, fund, and plan for quality long-term care through a network of rigorously vetted providers, personalized nurse-led aging care plans, and guidance that helps older adults own their aging journey and live well on their own terms. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Bring clarity and confidence back to your family's journey. Go to carescout.com/happier today to discover a clear, bright path forward. carescout.com/happier. Okay, we are back. What is this thing you have been meaning to tell me?
Okay. So, Elizabeth, one thing about you and me more than you, but you and me both more than our mother, is how casually we would dress, I would say, to put it nicely. And our mother, who has very great fashion sense, even if she's just hanging around on an ordinary day, she's wearing what I would consider to be an outfit.
Yes.
A pair of pants and a top that goes with it, real clothes. It's stuff that was like on a hanger.
Yeah.
She always looks pulled together and nice. Not that she's all dressed up. She might look very casual, but she's wearing an outfit. And I could tell that she's puzzled by my comfort level with just going about my day wearing the lowest level of athleisure that there is. So it is an elderly pair of yoga pants, a tired hoodie, a well-worn long-sleeve t-shirt under my hoodie, my running shoes, and I'm just going about my day wearing that, right? And she will sometimes say...
Meaning also out of the house. You go out of the house.
Yes,
not
absolutely.
Just in your apartment.
Oh, yeah.
You will be tooling around New York in that.
100%. 100%. And she'll say things like, you know, wouldn't it be just as nice to wear something nicer, kind of thing? I don't know the version that you get of this, Elizabeth, maybe. And I started thinking about, well, what is the difference between the way I view it and the way Mom views it? And it occurs to me, and I haven't talked to her about this. I should ask her, like, how she views it. Well, part of it is she scored so much higher on Beholderism on the Values Bridge tool that I am obsessed with. As you know, everybody should go check out the Values Bridge tool. Beholderism is how much you care about things being beautiful. She scores very high. We score medium low, I would say, if I remember correctly. But I realized that I have this way of thinking about myself that I think explains why this is.
Okay.
I realize that I have two modes. I have anonymous mode and present mode. And these are just all in my head, of course. If I'm in anonymous mode, I feel like I almost am not even present. I am there. No one is seeing me. No one is looking at me. No one sees what I'm wearing. Nobody thinks about what my outfit is. It simply doesn't matter because I am so anonymous. I just am furniture on the street. It doesn't matter. So why not just be as comfortable as I am, and why not just wear what I put on at 6 a.m.? Then I have present mode. And present mode is when I feel like I am present. Even if I'm not talking to somebody, I feel that I am present. And in that case, I will put on what I would consider to be some kind of outfit, even at a minimum, put on like lipstick and mascara and a little bit of blush. I might not do my whole makeup routine, but I would put on a little bit if I am present in any way. So listen, does this ring a bell with you at all?
It does. I, like you, will go out and do errands and stuff just looking like death.
As is.
Now, I hate, though, then if I run into somebody I know.
Yeah, of course.
Which does happen.
Of course. Yes, inevitably.
Here is a question I'm curious, because readers or listeners will sometimes come up to you out and about and say hello.
Yeah.
Do people come up to you when you're in your anonymous mode?
Yes, they have come up to me when I'm in my, which is fine.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering.
No, they do. And you know when it is the most? It's just like you say you get voice recognized in Encino. The place where people will often come up to me is the Met, because I think it's like a limited area.
Right.
And people know that I go there.
Yeah.
It's open a lot, but I do not feel present at the Met. I feel like I'm anonymous at the Met. So I wouldn't wear an outfit and do that. And part of it's because I go every day. So like, who can be bothered, right?
Yeah.
So I always wish that I looked nicer, but not enough that I feel like it's worth being present for that. But it's kind of arbitrary what I feel anonymous and what I feel present. Let's say I was going to go to a huge book reading, not a little one where it's 30 people or 10 people, but one where it's going to be like a whole auditorium full of people. And I don't know the person speaking and I don't know anybody else who's going there. And also out of respect for the speaker and the context, I would put on an outfit. But at something like that, I feel present.
Yeah.
Whereas I still feel anonymous at the Met.
Yeah. I don't think I feel this as strongly as you do, but I do relate to what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about feeling anonymous or present.
Okay, but so with Off-White Delight, did Off-White Delight also apply to when you were anonymous, or was it only when you were present?
Well, that is something I had to grapple with now that you mention it, because I was trying at first to say I would only be wearing Off-White all the time, no matter what. And it just was not...
That's burdensome.
Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to wear Off-White to exercise, but I was going to try to wear it at home, and it just wasn't possible. So that, yes, I decided to do it when I'm present. So whenever I go out, when I see friends, you know, if we go to the mall, there are a lot of times that I am wearing all Off-White. I mean, as you have seen yourself.
Yeah.
But at home, not as much.
Well, it's interesting because being on an airplane, I am present. I'm wondering if I were taking a train, would I be present or anonymous? I think I'd be present. I think I'd be present on a train.
I will say flying, I made a conscious decision that it would not be a good idea to wear Off-White on a plane.
Well, just because it's...
Traveling is not a good time for an all Off-White outfit.
Off-White is a demanding color scheme.
It really is in terms of showing dirt. I mean, it's an issue. It's an issue.
Right.
Don't even get me started on how hard it is to drink coffee while driving when you're wearing all Off-White. I put a towel in my car so that I could put it over my shirt so I could have coffee.
That's a very LA problem.
Yes. I actually have lately, Gretch, just as an FYI, been sometimes wearing what you and I would call an outfit at home, just because I am always interested in what mom is doing and sort of emulating her. And so I have sometimes when I want to be in like a higher mindset, been wearing jeans, which is our version of dressing up. So I have been dabbling in that, and I'm still on the fence of whether I think I'm more productive if I'm wearing an outfit like that because I'm sort of elevating myself, or if I'm less productive because I'm not as comfortable. So I'm pondering that question right now in my life.
Well, remember there was that month where we were like 30 days of clothes?
Yes.
No, it's an issue.
Here's what I will say. One thing to think about for us is it is nice that mom is always wearing a cute outfit.
Nice.
I enjoy seeing what she's wearing. It does, for the other people, it is nicer that mom looks great instead of just wearing some baggy old pair of sweats.
No, it really is.
So maybe we should do it for the other people in our lives.
And again, it's not that she's dressed up or looks uncomfortable. It's comfortable hangout clothes, but it is an outfit. Yeah. It does make a difference. I was going to say when she's around, I try to wear an outfit, but I have to say sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
I just have to wear my normal stuff. Last thing on this, though, I will say is that it means that I change my clothes constantly. I'm constantly going in and out and putting things away, and that's a nuisance. Whereas I feel like if I just got dressed in clothes, then I could just stay in those clothes all day long. And as a consequence, I'm always changing, and that's a nuisance. So I just thought it was interesting that I realized how I had this distinction in my mind without actually noticing what the distinction was. But now I see the pattern.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, Gretchen, what is our spotlight on a tool this week?
Okay, I want to talk about my newsletter, which I love to do. Writing this newsletter is one of the most fun things I do every week. If you want ideas for how to make your life happier, healthier, more productive, more creative, if you want just fun things that I've spotted, things that made me smile, funny things I learned, interesting science, my kind of stuff, more than 1.5 million people now get this thing every week. It's every Friday. So it's observations, recommendations. There's a certain kind of thing where this is the only place where it can go, and it makes me so happy. I really enjoy doing it. So happiercast.com/newsletter, or you can just go to my website, GretchenRubin.com, and sign up.
Yes, I read it every week.
Aw, you're such a good sister.
All right, Gretch, coming up, there's something you've been meaning to tell me, but first this break.
This episode is brought to you by Care Scout. One thing I've noticed is that life has a way of bringing new responsibilities when we least expect them. As our kids become more independent and our parents get older, many of us find ourselves trying to balance work, family, and figuring out the best way to support the people we love.
That's why Care Scout created the nation's first comprehensive aging care platform. Think of them as an expert partner to help your family find, fund, and plan for quality long-term care through a network of rigorously vetted providers, personalized nurse-led aging care plans, and guidance that helps older adults own their aging journey and live well on their own terms. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Bring clarity and confidence back to your family's journey. Go to carescout.com/happier today to discover a clear, bright path forward. carescout.com/happier.
I always feel like August is a good time to reset before the fall season, which is so busy. I don't necessarily want a whole new wardrobe. I just want a few pieces that make getting dressed easier. That is why I have become such a fan of Quince. Their clothes are beautifully made, timeless, and they feel like the kind of pieces you reach for again and again.
Quince works directly with ethical factories and cuts out the middlemen, so everything is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Their premium stretch denim starts at just $50, and they also have beautiful bedding, all kinds of stuff for your home and travel. Gretchen, I got Jack a set of luggage from Quince, and he loves it. Upgrade your everyday. Go to quince.com/Gretchen for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Gretchen for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Gretchen.
Between diets, workouts, and endless advice, it's hard to know what actually works for weight loss and what's worth your time. That's why Hers offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications that now includes the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 for weight loss, so there are no needles needed.
Everything is 100% online through Hers. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/happier to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's FORHERS.com/happier. Forhers.com/happier. Weight loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is a registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com. Okay, Gretch, we are back. This is interesting. What is this thing you've been meaning to tell me?
Okay, so this relates to the 4 tendencies framework, which, of course, if you don't know about the 4 tendencies, you can also go to my site, GretchenRubin.com, take the quiz, learn about upholders, questioners, obligers, and rebels. So I'm an upholder, and one of the things that is kind of a downside of being an upholder, and I think maybe also for obligers, but to a lesser extent, or no, maybe it depends on the person, is they can be too bound by rules. They can see a rule when no rule exists. They can stick to a rule when it doesn't make sense to stick to a rule. They can not see that there's an opportunity to do something in a better way because they don't even question their assumptions about standards, expectations, that kind of thing. And I realized that I had encountered an example of this because my nephew was graduating from high school. And so, we were sitting in the audience and this speaker is coming up and speaking, and this other speaker is coming up and speaking. And I don't remember if this was the valedictorian or a class representative, but anyway, one of the seniors from the graduating high school class got up. He stood at the lectern and looked down at his notes. And then he took a moment and took off his mortarboard and put it on the side. Because the thing about a mortarboard is it's kind of distracting, right? Because it's sort of weird the way it sits on your head.
Well, and the tassel can move, and I could see that it could block your speech if it flung forward.
It could hit the microphone. It's a lot to have a mortarboard. And you've never had a mortarboard. I mean, how often have you had a mortarboard on your head? Not often. But when he took it off, I got like a thrill in my body. I was like, whoa, he can just take off his mortarboard. He can just be on stage as a graduating senior and in the middle of the ceremony, just take it off. Well, yes, of course he can.
Yeah.
I bet not one person in the entire audience noticed, except for him, because he wasn't distracted by his tassel and his mortarboard and the thing slipping and sliding around. The fact that it registered with shock to me made me realize it would never have occurred to me to take off the mortarboard. And that's an example of some of the limitations of being too much of a rule follower.
Yes, I totally relate. I'm a rule follower as well. And yeah, even if something doesn't matter, I'll be like, but aren't we supposed to do it this way?
Yes.
And I will strive to follow the rule to the letter. So yeah, I also would think, well, this is what graduates wear, so therefore this is what I should be wearing. I wouldn't make that bold, what I would think of as a bold statement.
Right.
But now that you say it, it's true. And it is good to question these things that don't matter.
And that's the thing that I think is the real lesson for me, which is it wouldn't even have crossed my mind to take off my mortarboard. And I think that's the part that's a little bit scary for me. Because if I thought about it and I was like, no, I would really feel uncomfortable doing that, that's one thing. Because then you're sort of questioning the rule, but then deciding, well, on balance, I just feel better sticking to the rule. But I'm like, there's rules that I'm not even noticing, that I am unquestioningly going on, or like opportunities to make things easier. You'll be able to do a better job delivering this speech, which I'm sure it's this whole auditorium full of people. I'm sure the guy was nervous. Make it easier for yourself. Allow yourself to do a better job with just one less thing to manage. This is why I like being with questioners. Jamie's a questioner. Eliza's a questioner. This is why it's good for me to be around rebels, because I feel like I constantly need to be reminded, question the rules. You don't have to follow the rules. There may not even be a rule.
Right.
You may be imagining there is a rule where there is no rule.
There is no rule that you have to wear a mortarboard when you're giving your graduation speech. Certainly, that is not a rule.
I know.
Interesting.
Yes. Lessons from a high school senior. I learned from you, anonymous graduating guy. I don't remember your name, but I will think of you often.
Okay, Gretchen, what is our secret of adulthood this week?
Well, I picked this secret of adulthood because of the discussion of pop-up books. So my secret of adulthood is the forbidden pleasures of childhood often become the luxuries of adulthood. And I would not say that we were forbidden to have pop-up books, but in our household, it was like, they're expensive, they're not very durable, so we didn't get them. And so for me, there's kind of an excitement about a pop-up book. This is special. This is something we would have gotten from our grandparents for our birthday or something. You know what I mean?
Yes. And drinking soda. Soda was always special.
Well, and especially in a restaurant. I mean, to this day, Elizabeth, if I order a soft drink in a restaurant, I just feel like, whoa, I am just living on the edge here. I am just throwing money around.
I always order a soda at a restaurant. Yeah, it's something I enjoy even more because I never did when I was younger.
We weren't allowed to as children, and the forbidden pleasures of childhood often become the luxuries of adulthood.
Indeed.
So, Elizabeth, are you feeling happier?
Yes, I am feeling happier. Thank you to Chuck. Bye, Gretch.
Bye, Elizabeth. The best time to start a happiness project is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You know, Elizabeth, I finally started sometimes ordering soft drinks in a restaurant because I noticed that you had done it. And I'm like, well, if Elizabeth's doing it, then I think it's okay for me too.
Oh my gosh. Well, I ushered you into the soft drink era.
It still feels kind of illicit, I gotta say.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.